Hey there, defenders of the city, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Zed City, episode 58, Mega Swarm. Oh, we have a suicide bomber. I'm gonna enjoy watching you blow up on something stupid. Here we go. Nothing like living in ruins to mitigate the attacks. It'd be so dangerous if I wasn't in a ruin. I'd have to pay super close attention. Ah. They don't flick one on. Oh. Night crew. We got some zombies. So I think the sprinklers go on first thing in the morning, if I recall, so we're about to see it happen in real time. Unfortunately, we're at a peak of 100, so if I wanted to add additional sprinklers, it's going to have to wait until it's calm out there again, because it's not calm right now. Alright, it definitely watered it, and that is it. It made it wet, toxic sludge. So I would say that's a fail. I don't think that the fire suppression is probably going to work any different, but I will try it anyway. Interestingly, it made the area arable for farming. Not that I would ever put crops out there. Nice. We have our third 100% guaranteed zombie serum. Or technically our fourth. We used up the third. Meals have been sitting pretty. Food is good. I think I'm going to send a bunch of shooters down here to cover Guero as Guero fixes the irrigation sprinkler to try to see if the fire suppression sprinkler works any different. Alright, so we have a fire sprinkler. Everybody back inside. Maybe don't walk through the toxic sludge we're trying to avoid on your way in. And in order to trigger this one, Fang Face, you're kind of the person in the right area. Grab some flammables and huck it on the corpse. I think that's all I'll have to do. Unless the fire needs to be really close to the fire sprinkler, that might be the thing. So fire sprinklers, douses flames, triggered by fire or high temperature. I guess it needs to get closer to the sprinkler itself. Which I can artificially set up, I suppose. The range of the sprinkler is maxed right now, and it was obviously stuff within its radius was on fire. So it's more the fact that it's kind of like fire foam poppers. I'd imagine it's roughly the same code. Fire foam poppers have a large radius, but they don't trigger unless the fire is very close to them. I think within 2 or 3 tiles. But the poppers effect themselves is like a 12 by 12 sphere or a circle. And I think that this is kind of the same sort of situation, I'd imagine. Also, totally not safe to go out right now, as we have like 300 zombies bearing down on us. Does it have to be in the home zone? You know, that might be the case as well. Let's brute force that, add a bunch to the home zone, and then set more fire. So, Zeusin, may I borrow you? At least it's a target-rich environment for Molotovs here. There's a lot to burn. Got Madsy. Don't shoot from back there. No, no, Zeusin. Did you just hit Zeusin? You were unattended for a quarter of a second. You shot Faint Face in the arm. Well, this fire sprinkler don't care about this fire at all. The zombie corpses are spreading towards it, so hopefully it gets triggered soon. And there it goes. It's suppressed, but it did not clear out the toxins. Also, I hear a tanky somewhere close by. Where are you? Oh, there you are. So that doesn't work either. Do we have to clean it up manually? It seems like that might be the case, which is the big suck. Especially given that we don't have modded stuff for like, or not modded, DLC stuff for like toxic buildup protection, or xenogerms to make us immune. So, yeah, my guess is precipitation would clear it out, but since it's really annoying to force precipitation, it's just gonna be a problem. It's not that big of a problem, we'll just have to be mindful of it and avoid it. Deep wells are done. The other thing that we have not yet tried is fire foam. If you wanted to vote for fire foam, fire foam has a small chance to work, because what it does is fire foam will coat everything, and it's possible that fire foam coats it to the point where it like gets rid of it, because there's only like, but you know, RimWorld allows for multiple layers of filth, so I think the chance of fire foam being functional is like low, but not zero. I'll put it that way. Also, it's not a bad idea just to have fire foam on hand anyway, as a way to deal with like unmitigated fire. Oh, there must be another tanky. Oh no, the sound file was just done looping. Okay, cool. That's been dealt with. So it looks like fire foam is going to be the popular option here. I'll just call that one early. And that's not too big of an investment, because what I'll do is I'll just make a fire foam popper pack, have someone wear it, run out there and pop it on the toxic sludge and see if it works. If I was a gambling man, I'd say it won't work, but might as well try. Now, I don't think that we're going to end up using all these bedrooms, but I do need a lot more stone. So whether or not we actually use these bedrooms is not the point. This excavation project is purely about we need more stone for to build walls when we inevitably move. And there's only so much mining around the wind turbine area that I want to do, and because at some point it will need to be held up by columns. And no thanks. Now, the only problem with this section of the base is it won't be connected to the rec room area unless I dig around and connect the hallways, which I could do. Adding a door here so that we have a U-shaped recreation room to the east, which is not unreasonable. But I don't want to overdevelop that. It wasn't voted on. It's just, I know that we're going to use stone, so this is purely about getting the cut stone. The lake is still home zoned, yeah. No one's allowed out there, so it's not a... wasn't really an issue. And we're climbing up to another peak. Doesn't look like on the forecast we're going to be able to go anywhere for a while. We're going to have to be dug in. Is the pristine ruins exploration more viable now? No. It's going to disappear well before we even make it in time. I would have to check the message log. This was sent December 13th, 3 days ago, and it takes 7 days to get there. So we'll get there on day 10 and it won't be pristine anymore. So completely overdeveloped subterranean housing complex. Purely because we want the stone. Just RimWorld things, right? Silliest of RimWorld things. When the car's speed increase, a lot of the speed here is a result of the mountains. So, yeah, it increases by like a day and a half. But I would need to leave right now. And right now, we're heading to 100% or 91% threat. So, leaving right now is not an option. And we're not going to get... So, the window to leave doesn't overlap with reality. In other words. It was not a ruined trip that, A, wasn't voted on. B, it's not even, like, all that viable due to those mountain ranges. Because these mountains here are impassable. So it's a huge amount of impassable mountains cutting us off, and then this lake, so going there, has us cutting all the way around in this U-shape going through, like, thick mountains. Those kind of mountains are just worthless to traverse. Fire foam is nearly done, so I'm going to need another research project. And then, while we research that, let's do a pop pack. Ooh, that looks cozy. So the only issue I see with this is, like, this adds to the total volume of the rec room, making it harder to cool and heat. But apart from that, I'm kind of fine with the project. Plus, it will help our constructors level up construction, which is a benefit, because once we get to the AI ship, we're going to need a lot of constructors doing construction all at once. Oh, speaking of, it's not time to leave. Oh, that is a group. That is a group of zombies. We're at 443. I don't think I've seen more zombies in the home tile. I think we may have just set a record. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's new record. All right. The window for me to test the fire foam to see if this is even a slightly viable thing to do is fast fading. So, Madzi, you're picking up the fire foam pack? Guess what? You're going to be volunteered for horrible duty. So Fangface, Exarch, Redfield, Zeus, and Stormguard, you come down to the docks, and then Madzi will be running out, putting fire foam right on this toxic patch there, because it's closest to the base. That is a lot of Zeds. It is. No, the toxic goo is still under that fire foam. So fire foam did not work. It's there's still a value of having fire foam pops packs, because you can reload it with chem fuel pretty easily and put out fires instantly. So I don't regret making one, but they don't really help against the toxic sludge. I didn't think it would, but we tried. Has that C4 zombie blown himself up? He must have, because of all this fire, I assume. Plus, I don't see him. Would building carpets over toxic sludge work? No, it wouldn't. You would just have toxic carpets at that point. The way to do it is to clean it up manually or to remove the roofs and trigger rainfall. Neither of which I plan on doing, so that means that we don't really have a current priority. So the problem is, these zombies, because there's so many of them, are starting to get enraged. And as they're enraged, they're going to pile up. So this is sort of a wake everybody up type scenario, because the front door is going to take a lot of damage if we don't start clearing these hordes out. So, time to go red. DEFCON red. I realize that's not how DEFCON systems work, but this is my reality, so I decide. So unfortunately, the fire foam here is keeping the zombies from spreading the fire around. So fire foam pop packs had like a negative consequence of trying to clean up toxins with them, but oh well. It's only a small section of the base. I bet this smells wonderful, don't you think? God, that's a lot of zombies. Rocket Swarm, you are officially the next research project. So the one issue I foresee with the Rocket Swarm launcher is it's going to cause a lot of damage to these columns, but it's one of those situations where I think we're going to use the Rocket Swarm launcher in cases of emergency, and collapsing our columns is like kind of not a big deal if we have a big emergency. collectively, our defenders have killed like 100 and something. Oh, wow. Numbers actually works right now? Man, the number mod has not been working for me for a long, long time. Every time I click this, it's just like, nope, sorry. You don't get to see what's going on out there. I'm surprised it worked. Lord, is there so many zombies. It's really annoying that there's a sludge one right there. In fact... Here, you can burn too. Well, that was a heavy lift. Killed like 200 zombies that had wandered in. Look at that trail of fire. I love it. All the way back to origin. Colony project. Here you go. Who has the highest skills? Redfield by like a long shot. He's got 2,600. In a league of his own. 800 kills above everyone else. I figured. I mean, he is the best weapon now. How's the tribute status? We're still in the positive. It's going to be a while until we hit the low enough to go hostile again. We do have a lot of yayo. We got quite a lot of yayo. So it might make sense to transition the psychoid field over to something else, like cotton or tinctoria if we want to color our base or something like that. We got lots of tribute yayo. If and when we need it. No, base and driveway. Okay, driveway includes that. The other thing that I could have added to this poll is starting like a chocolate tree grove. There's a possibility of having like a small chocolate tree grove somewhere outside of these farms. It couldn't be roofed off because you can't grow trees under a roof. But we did research tree sowing and chocolate, cocoa. There's not... So trees block wind turbines, so there's not really a space back here to put it. As you can see, the overlapping fields for the wind turbine cover basically all the soil. What I could do is I could move these wooden pumps that pump our water elsewhere, or do an electric pump exclusively. I think there might be a bit of a risk for an electric pump exclusively, however. Actually, I would go so far as to say our current water tanks are not looking awesome. We might want an electric pump anyway. Just to add some additional water in the tanks. But we do have the ability to make a deep water well. Interesting. So where I have my base just so happens to not have a lot of deep water. There is deep water up here that I could tap. Like 8,000 liters a day is kind of a ridiculous amount. But the deep water aquifers are fundamentally a different map than the above water. The above water is where you see like lakes and ponds, and occasionally there will be like random sections of the map that will have water that you can tap, like here, for instance, or well, that's a lake. But the deep water, as you can see, is different. So, for instance, this pond does not have deep water aquifers under it. Neither does this little wet spot. This top left is all stone, for the most part. If you take a look at here, this will make it obvious. Everywhere you see green boxes is stone. So there's not really space for a tree farm up there. You mean the inner patio? I don't know what you mean then. If you mean up here, that's where the stone is. It's almost exclusively stone, and the only places that are not stone, I have wind turbines that would be blocked by trees. Below the farms I could do. I could add tree farms here. Probably avoiding the stony soil, as stony soil is pretty worthless to farm on. I could put like trees around here, like a little grove. So that could be another goal for the future. Building up a supply of chocolate so that when we go to the new AI ship, we have yet another type of recreation. Gastronomical recreation. You guys want to fabricate a new vehicle? There's a few different types of vehicles that we can make, so I'll have you pick them. With that said, there's one vehicle that I would pick myself, and I'm going to put my thumb on the scale this time. One sec. Freaking head colds. The blight of having a toddler. So, putting my thumb on the scale, a mule is probably way more useful than another type of vehicle. But to cover them, a Vendito allows us to haul passengers. Currently, with the vehicles that we have 2 plus 6, so we have passenger capacity for up to 8. The goal of the series is to have 10 people. I need 2 hands for that. 10 people, and then to head to the AI ship. So we're already 8 of 10 in terms of passenger capacity. So a Vendito would give us a passenger capacity of what, 14? Which is well beyond the necessary amount of seats that we need. Not to say that it's a bad choice, it just doesn't have a lot of carry capacity. So the advantage of dirt bikes, because I haven't built a dirt bike yet, or a prowler or traveler. So dirt bikes can handle off-road pretty well, getting out to, you know, rugged terrain quickly. But we really haven't had a lot of rescues deep in the mountains for rugged terrain. It's not to say that the dirt bike is a bad choice, it's just not one that can haul things. Then of course we have the mule, which is the hauling truck. Prowlers and travelers are roughly equivalent to one another. The prowler is also off-road exploration vehicle. And then the traveler is good for roads, and it travels efficiently. It's the most fuel-efficient car that we have. In terms of carry capacity, the traveler can have 300 kilograms. The prowler can have 220. The mule can have 600. The dirt bike, I think, has 0. Or 10. Okay, functionally pretty 0. And the Vendito is 140. So what vehicle to make? There you go. Didn't realize there was like power conduits in here. It's nice and calm out there right now, isn't it? Well, for now. It's getting bad. Is any vehicle good for winter? Not really. They're all sort of equally terrible for winter. Some worse than others. The truck, I believe, is like very terrible in the winter. I think it says that in the tooltips, if I recall. With that said, if we're heading to... Yeah, not recommended to use in winter season. So the mules are particularly bad in winter season. I think the travelers are not great in snowy conditions either. Yes. Oh, no, it says it does handle somewhat well in cold conditions. The dirt bikes perform poorly in the winter, and the Venditos perform poorly in the winter. So Venditos, dirt bikes, and mules are bad in the winter. The prowlers and travelers are okay in the winter. If we're planning a trip out to the AI ship, I obviously would not go. I would do it like the 1st of spring or something like that. So it's about a season's travel, like 15 days is a season. So it's 2/3 of a season of travel. So if we started mid-spring, we'd get there by midsummer or something like that, and we would avoid traveling in the winter entirely, which would help with fuel economy and travel speed. And yes, I do need 10 pawns before going to the ship. Currently, we have capacity for 8. So the Venditos can have 8 people, and the trucks can have 2. So even one more truck, and we have passenger capacity for 10. Which is why 2 passenger vans are kind of unnecessary. All right, you guys want mule, so let's start putting a mule together. So if we're gonna do another mule, I'll build it here. We're gonna want an engine block, alternator, 2 exhausts. So let's start queuing that up. Engine block, alternator, 2 exhausts, 8 suspension, and 4 wheels. Double check my math. Yep. That looks about right. And I think I'll set these all up to grow tasks because I don't need an inferior craft person doing them. Cheers. Yeah, it would be good if we had a lot of mules so that we could have the greatest amount of carry capacity. Technically, we could have up to 10 mules, although it would be very strange to have 10 vehicles. Each vehicle having a single person in them. But like, hypothetically, it's possible to have 10 mules with a carry capacity of 6,000 kilograms. I don't think that's all realistic, plus the amount of fuel that will burn to get there would be rough. And then while we work on that, I am going to build an electric pump. I just realized our water level with the 3 farms is barely being met, so it'd be good to have some excess water. Plus the hot tubs and the saunas probably use up I don't know about the saunas. I mean, I know in real life you use water in saunas, but I don't think this uses a whole lot of water. I don't think it says though. Does it? Doesn't. And the hot tub is filled with water on first use, but then not thereafter. So it's like a single fill type thing. Good. You never cycle the water. In a zombie apocalypse where everyone is contaminated. Yeah, that makes sense. Yuck. Dry saunas exist, yeah, but it's just this isn't one. Because it fills with steam. I'm assuming it's steam and not like cyclone. Well, since we're building a mule, let's get a raffle timer up for that. Subscribers in your chat, in my chat, in the chat. Words, what do they mean? Subscribers in the chat, good luck. Now that our doctors are not hurt, it's also a good time to do a little surgery on Mazzy. Get her brand new left arm. Not with herbal meds, though. All right, we definitely are having some sort of unwelcomed zombie convention on our front porch. Let's deal with that. I missed a doggo treat. Yeah, that I did. I need to search for an additional parking spot? Yes. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Because we can just have 2 vehicles in regular rotation. And then have the 3rd vehicle for the trip down to the ice ship. I think we're going to have a lot of vehicles just like waiting in the wings for when we go to the ice ship. Maybe like 1 or 2 more mules, something like that. We'll see. All right, she's got her arm. Surgery was successful. Don't think there's anything super dangerous outside at the moment. Just good. Gives us some breathing room. Madsy's yakking up her medicine. Good old anesthesia. Now, has this electric pump helped? The current wells that I have, 475 liters a day and 2,250 liters a day. I think we actually might need another well. And in this case, a deep water well is not that much more expensive than a surface well in terms of steel. And because we have the deep water well researched, I'm just going to get a deep water well. It's one of those sort of necessary things. Oh, another thing I have to do, now that we're heading into spring, later in the spring, is to remove the geothermal from the farm. No need to cook our plants. So the engine, alternator, exhaust, and suspension are done. And now it's just up to the wheels. Yeah, the deep wells are immune to to toxic fallout. So if we don't have the power for water treatment, because water treatment is pretty power costly. It's 800 watts, which is kind of a lot. We could always turn off the water treatment and turn off the regular wells and only draw from the deep well, which the deep well is a little, it's about 225% of the capacity of the regular wells that we have right now. Give or take. Ooh, in 10 days or in 9 days, we have a nice period of calm. So if there's a opportunity to go out to ruins or to do stuff outside of the map tile, that'd be a good time to do it. The other thing is, part of this cave system, this underground cavern, we're obviously heading to a high supply of deep water as well. So I could, you know, dig a little hallway here down to here and put another deep well if we need. I don't think we'll need like 16,000 liters a day. That's kind of absurd. There's no way we're going to use that, but it's a possibility. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Zed City, which originally streamed live on Twitch December 10th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie slayers.